Financial emergencies never show up at a convenient time. Whether it's a car repair, a medical bill, or just being short in between paychecks, it can really turn into a panic, especially if you know that your credit score isn't that great and you need a loan. My name is Choncé with badcredit.org, and I've definitely been in that position before where I was rebuilding my credit score, but I needed money quickly, and I was wondering if anyone would give me a chance. So, in this video, I'm going to be breaking down my experience with testing One Loan Stop. I want to talk about what One Loan Stop actually does, how their process works, and who this platform is best for. So let's get started. First, I want to be clear about what One Loan Stop actually is. It is not a lender. It's actually an online matching platform that connects people with fair or bad credit to third-party lenders who may be willing to look beyond your credit score and qualify you for a loan. So they do not issue loans themselves, but they have a network of lenders to do so. And they don't approve loans, set rates, or send money. Their role is just to widen the net so you're not applying from lender to lender on your own and getting rejected repeatedly. They're going to help match you with someone that would be best for you. So working with One Loan Stop is not a guaranteed approval or doesn't guarantee low interest rates on a loan. But if you're looking for lenders that consider other factors like your income, employment, other things like that, this could be a suitable option to consider. When it comes to One Loan Stop, one thing people want to know right away is what type of credit score do you actually need? So One Loan Stop doesn't publish a minimum credit score on its website because each lender in its network sets their own rules. But what matters more and with a lot of these lenders is your income stability. So the lenders are going to be looking for things like if you have a steady source of moderate but consistent income, also a manageable debt to income ratio. So if you have a lower amount of outstanding debt, that could be a good thing. So even if your credit score isn't perfect or you have a thin credit file, income often carries more weight alone than your credit score. Okay, so you're on the website looking around. Let's talk a little bit about how the application process works, how to get started. So when I was on the website and I tested it out, you just click on a button to get started from the home page, and you basically start by entering how much you want to borrow and also the reason for your loan. Then you're going to answer some basic questions about debt, income, employment, whether you have an active checking account, and things like that. A lot of personal details to put in, but I guess they need all this information from you in order to move to the next step. But near the end of the process, you're asked for your bank information so funds can be deposited if you're approved. And that process takes just a few minutes. So once it's submitted, you can see potential offers or you can speak with a specialist to review your options and see what One Loan Stop is able to match you with. At no point in the process did I feel like I was locked in and I could always walk away. And I didn't fully go through with submitting a loan request, but I wanted to walk through the process to see what it was like. And it was really straightforward. So there is also no upfront fee when you work with One Loan Stop just to apply, which is a huge bonus. The initial check is a soft credit pull, so it doesn't affect your score to get matched with different lenders. But there will be a hard credit inquiry if you choose to move forward with a specific lender and fill out a full application. Rates and fees also vary by lender depending on who you choose to work with. And this is where reading the fine print really matters because you want to know what your loan terms are. Also, it's pretty quick funding with a lot of the lenders. They say you can be funded as soon as the next business day, which is convenient. But if you are denied, I wanted just to touch on that a little bit. Or if you don't see an offer that you want that you think will be good for you, it doesn't always mean that you're out of options if this happens. It usually just comes down to different factors, like I said, income consistency, your debt levels, or maybe the amount you're looking to borrow. So you could do some tweaks like lowering your loan amount or paying down some debt or even showing a steadier income could help improve your chances. Plus, there are multiple lenders in the network, so hopefully you're bound to find someone who you can match with potentially and see if they will approve you for a loan. Or let's talk about a few pros and cons of One Loan Stop. First thing with the pros is I like that it's a fast application process. If you need money quickly, you also have access. If you have fair or bad credit, access to lenders. And I also like how there's no upfront fees and there's no immediate credit check. Now, some cons and drawbacks. I feel like the loan costs are higher in terms of your interest rate and potential fees. It doesn't say this specifically because it depends on the lender, but naturally, if you have bad credit, you're going to have to pay a little bit more. Also, since this is an online process, it's very easy to borrow out of urgency if you're not careful. So just make sure that this is more of a last resort borrowing situation and you're not just borrowing more money than you need. Because again, if those fees are high and interest rates, then that can really add up over time. So, final verdict and who I think this is for, I would recommend One Loan Stop, but only for a very specific type of borrower. I wouldn't recommend it for everyone. I feel like if you have a steady income, understand your credit limitations, and want to compare short term loan options without applying everywhere, this could be a useful screening tool to help you. Since it's free, you really don't have much to lose. But if you're already stretched very thin or you don't want to deal with high APR, if you want longer loan repayment terms, this probably may not be the right fit. I feel like when I was going through One Loan Stop, the process that they seemed to gear more toward the quicker repayment terms that were shorter, which that can be more stressful as well, especially depending on how much you borrow. With One Loan Stop, the real value I feel isn't guaranteed funding, but it's seeing what's realistically available and deciding whether borrowing now actually makes sense for you. When it's used carefully, I feel like One Loan Stop can help you compare real offers without immediately hurting your credit. Just don't treat it like it's a cure all to your situation with wanting to get a loan. Just treat it like more like a comparison tool. If this breakdown helped, feel free to check out the full written review that I put on badcredit.org for more details about One Loan Stop.